Hello, welcome to Oceanic Oracle. My name is Ari and today I'm going to be going through my February TBR. Welcome to my second TBR draw game. I still haven't named this game yet. If I have a choice, maybe I will list them down below. If you're interested, maybe tell me which you think is best, so I will have left them in the description box or in a pinned comment. But there we go. If you're new to my channel, hi and welcome. This is my second round of my TBR game. If you're interested, please go and check out my first video in this series, which is my January TBR. I will have linked it in the corner. I think I might actually be doing a TBR playlist as well, so if you're interested in playing along with me, if you want, I will link last month's prompts there, or you can just join in with this month's prompts. In that video I explain the rules. Basically, I'm going to be drawing 7 cards from my deck. I have 7 cards from last month. I have read all those, so you can see which books I read with the prompts in my January wrap-up video. I have read all my prompts. I'll lie them out on the table as well. Now I get to draw 7 new cards, so 7 new prompts for next month. So without further ado, shall we get on with the drawing? Hello, welcome to me drawing these. So as you can see, I have the past prompts up in the background. So the first card for February is If Music Be the Food of Love. Read any romance. Well, I can definitely do that. And I'm on my way to completing the whole set. Draw number 1 is If Music Be the Food of Love. So read any romance. And the book I've chosen for this was a gift from one of my lovely sisters. And it is It Happened One Summer. This is a romance between, it's a grumpy sunshine romance. I'm so looking forward to reading this. It takes place in a town in Washington. This influencer gets sent there after having a bad night, we'll put it that way. She got arrested for having a house party. So her stepfather sent her to her dad's old place in Washington, and while she's there she meets Mr. Grumpy here, and I'm just looking forward to seeing this. I am so excited. This is my 3rd Tessa Bailey book. I've enjoyed her writing so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this one brings. So there we go. That's book number 1 for February. Okay, draw number 2. This is The Wind, It's Calling. Read any book featuring elemental magic. Okay, I'm gonna have a look and see what I can come up with. For prompt number 2, I drew The Wind, It's Calling, which is to read a fantasy book featuring elemental magic. So I'm going to be reading Fire Falling by Elise Cover. This is the 2nd book in a series. The first book was Air Awakens. It's a story set in a magical land, and each part of this land has different areas of magic. So the north has, earth, or earth magic. To the west you have fire magic, east air magic, and south water magic. There's a war going on between the earth, so the north, and the rest. Air magic is believed to have died out, but our main character in the first book, she can use air magic, so she's the last of her kind, basically. I enjoyed the first book. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on in the second. And yeah, I am really looking forward to that. So that is my blue card. Okay, draw number 3. Please be nice to me. Literary fiction. Read any book classed as literary fiction. Okay, I'll see what I can find. The next card that I drew, as you saw, is literary fiction. So it's to read a book that can be classed as literary fiction. For this card, I have chosen Kazuo Ishiguro's A Pale View of Hills. This is Kazuo Ishiguro's first novel. It's about a woman who had a daughter, but her daughter unalived herself, and this is the mother's journey of understanding and looking into her daughter's life. So there's probably going to be a lot of grief going on in here. So this is set in the UK. I think this will be hard-hitting. I'm interested to compare, because I have Kazuo Ishiguro's first book here. But I also have Clara and the Sun. Well, I have Clara and the Sun, which you can't really see, but it's down on my like bottom shelf. So yeah, going to be hard hitting. I have to be in the right mindset to read this, but glad to get the literary fiction card. Number 4. Anticipated read. Read any book from your anticipated reading list. Okay, I can do that. On to card number 4. Card number 4 was anticipated read, which is to read a book that's on my anticipated reads list. The book I've chosen for that is Our Violin Ends by Chloe Gong. I love the story and I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends. This is the final part of a 2-part series, so this is the second book in a duology. This is a book set in 1920 Shanghai and it's retelling of Romeo and Juliet. Chloe Gong writes about the environment in 1920 Shanghai, so the local people as well as Russians who came down from Siberia. You have Roma, who is Romeo, and Juliet, who is Juliet. Romeo is Romeo Montagov, and then Juliet is Juliet Tsai. I just loved her first book. I read it in April last year and I've been waiting to read this. So my sister actually, well, this is my Christmas present from my youngest sister and I absolutely love it. I'm so excited and it's, I just can't express how excited I am to read this. I love Chloe Gong's writing because it mixes pinyin in with the normal text. So pinyin is sort of the Chinese alphabet. There are times when characters are saying things in these books. Because I speak Mandarin, I know what they're saying and I can and it's like it's so good and I'm looking forward to picking this up. I cannot wait. I cannot express to you how excited I am for this book. So there we go, that is card number 4. Draw number 5. Disabled / neurodivergent representation. Read any book by a disabled / neurodivergent author and or featuring a disabled / neurodivergent protagonist. Okay, I'll have a look and see what I come up with. Card number 5 is disabled / neurodivergent representation. So it's to read a book by a disabled / neurodivergent author and or featuring a disabled / neurodivergent main character. The book I'm reading for this is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night. This is my second book of my 12 books for 12 months. This was recommended to me by my lovely sister who got me Our Violin Ends in the background. She absolutely loves this book. There's a play production and my family, not including myself because I was at university, they went to go see it and she loved the story and she loves the book, so I'm looking forward to seeing if I like this too. It features an autistic main character. It's sort of a murder mystery. They're investigating a curious case of a dog in the nighttime. I'm going to be listening to it on Audible because for some reason none of the bookshops that I've gone to have had it in stock and I just feel like it would be nice to listen to something on audio, so I'm going to be listening to that on Audible. But there we go, that is card number 5. Number 6 is Courage Don't Desert Me. Read a book featuring a magical weapon. Okay, we'll see what I can find. Card number 6 is Courage Don't Desert Me and it's to read a book featuring a magical weapon. I'm interpreting this to be like also, I guess, magical abilities. And the book I've chosen, which might be a bit weird, is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is a book about a girl whose one true love is engaged to get married to someone else. So all her life she's been told to be wary of the Prince of Hearts and his kisses. And then she goes to the Prince of Hearts for help. And he requests 3 kisses from her. And from what I've heard, I think the evil Prince of Hearts actually uses his kisses as weapons. So I'm interested to see what goes on. There are definitely like magical weapons in here. I'm excited. I haven't read anything by Stephanie Garber, so I think this will be a nice introduction to her sort of world building. And yeah, there we go. So I'm using magical kisses to be a magical weapon. And last, but certainly not least, I have LGBT representation. Okay. Read any book by an LGBTQ plus author and or featuring an LGBTQ plus protagonist. Okay. I can definitely do that. And last but definitely not least, I drew the LGBT plus representation. So my prompt is to read a book featuring an LGBTQ plus protagonist or written by an LGBTQ plus author. The book I've chosen for this is, surprise, Red, White and Royal Blue. I love this book. This is Casey McQuiston's debut novel. It was released in 2019. I finally own a physical copy. I have read the one on my Kindle 2 times before. This time I'm actually going to go through and annotate with my handy dandy annotation flags. So I am looking forward to that. This is a male-male romance. Our main character in this book is Alex, and he is the son of the President of the United States, and the protagonist starring opposite him is Prince Henry of England. This is a sort of like new adult romance novel. It is a bit political, so like if you're not into like political stuff, you might not be as drawn in. Like, I just really love the story. It's a story about acceptance and learning to love yourself, as well as like learning to understand who you are. It's a journey of discovery, and I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait for my reread, and I need to talk about like the new hardcover edition that's going to be released in August. I need that in my life because in that book there's going to be a chapter from Henry's POV, and I love Henry. It's just a beautiful story, and I can't wait to pick it up in February. Like, I'm just stoked. I'm going to try and read my romances in the week of Valentine's Day because I'm like that, and I want to read my romances around Valentine's Day. So there we go. So that is prompt number 7. So there we go. Those are all the books that I'm going to be reading in February. I've stuck my physical ones in the background so you can get an idea. I had a great reading month in January, and I wasn't expecting to have like that great of a reading month. So we'll see how many books I can actually read in February. February is shorter, so I'm keeping that in mind. But I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I am looking forward to reading these books. Maybe next month I'll actually be able to get a set, and I'll be able to show you some interesting actions that I can do with my cards. I'm keeping in mind that I do have 2 green cards, so if I want to swap a book, I'm allowed to swap a book because that's the way I'm playing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more bookish content. If you're interested in seeing how I fare with my books, you should definitely subscribe and come back because I'm going to be doing a February wrap up at the end of February. And I hope you're excited to continue our installment of this game. Maybe in March I'll actually come up with a name for this game, but we will see. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.